Let's talk about group management. So one of the key features, one of the key functions of the system is that of creating and managing groups. Groups are critical or essential in the system because they allow you to indicate and specify what information is shown to whom when they log into the system. If a person's in a group, then they're going to see posts that are made to that group, events that are associated with that group, volunteer opportunities that pertain to that group. And so it's important to be able to understand both how you create them, these groups, and also how you add people to them, because that's also, of course, going to be a critical part. So the primary way you add people to groups is by going into the group section. Once you've created one of these groups, you can create them from the button here. But once you create them, you can go into the edit screen and take a look at various options that are available to you. As I indicated before, from this screen, you can add people to the group. Bear in mind, when you add a person, there are 3 different types of ways you can add them. You can add them as a leader, you can add them as a user, and you can add them as a contact. Contacts are essentially individuals that are not necessarily logging into the system. They actually aren't logging into the system. They're people that you're tracking for maybe attendance purposes, people you're trying to you have records for that you want to maintain. Users, however, are people that actually log into the system, can make posts, read posts. They get notifications when posts are made. Every user does have a contact record, but these folks are actually engaged in the system. And of course, leaders are people with a specific role in the group that you would assign for them. And so in this case, if you want to add them, you would check these boxes. When you do check that a person's a group leader, you have to also specify the role that they have as leader. Okay? And Emmaus Tester's already in this group, so I won't go through the effort of doing that. But one critical thing too here when you do the editing of groups is you have the ability to specify who's the owner of it, meaning that this person cannot really be deleted or removed from the group because there has to be someone who takes ownership for the things that are going on. And so in this case, if, for example, you wanted to change the leader or the owner of this group to someone else, you'd first set them as the owner, and then you can go ahead and remove that previous person from the list of leaders that are in there. When editing groups, you can also send out invitations. Say instead of adding people, you want to invite people to be a part of the group. Again, these would be users. These would be people that you're sending out an invitation to say, hey, go and create an account. And when you create your account, you'll be able to start interacting with other people in the group. You can add a little message to it. And ultimately what will happen is when you send this out, it'll attach your message, and they'll with a link in the email. And from that link, they'll be able to register. Notice that it says that there's 5 unregistered contacts. What that's telling us is that the system recognizes that there are 5 contacts in the system that don't have user accounts attached to them. And so you literally could, instead of typing in email addresses, you could just tell it, hey, send out an invitation to those contacts that are in my list, and so that they can create accounts. Another thing you can do is grab a link for your group, a registration link. What this will do, if you maybe put it on a web page or send it out in a secondary email, this will let people click a link to actually register for that group. It's also a handy tool if you know that people are, you've created a new group, and say you want to tell everyone who is in a specific life stage or whatnot to join it. You can make a post, add that link in the post, and then when people who are logged in click on it, they can actually join that group. Last thing I'll point out here is that with the you can email your group. There's a full-blown email editing system, but what this thing does is it allows you to send out a simple, quick message to folks that are in your group to just let them know about something general that you want to specify without any special formatting or things like that. Last thing I'll point out is that you can, for these groups, you can specify that approval is required in order to join it, meaning that, even though someone may register, this checkbox means that that the person actually has to be approved by an owner or leader in order for them to begin receiving notifications or receiving messages about the group. So that's all we have to say about groups.